and welcome to Petite Professionals. This evening I get to interview Sammi. So her and I competed at Petite USA together, and she actually took home Miss Congeniality, which was very well deserved. All year, we have this group chat, and we would put in things like questions, and she was the first one to respond and check the handbook, and yeah, she's great. So I'm really excited to learn more about her. So let me find if she is logged on yet. All right, so I sent the invite, and there you are. Hey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Well, thanks for doing the live. I was just saying you took home Miss Congeniality, which was extremely well deserved.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had so much fun that weekend, and I was sad for it all to end. So I'm hoping that a lot of the girls return this year, just so I can see them all again.
I was telling Gina, I think it was the perfect amount of time, but I wish I would have had more time, made more of an effort to have more free time, because it was kind of nice to there's 2 nights where I was by myself, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to my room and take a nap.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
This
fun.
year I'm actually gonna go in a day early because I came down the day of and I felt so rushed. So definitely gonna plan more time for myself this year.
Right. Did you drove, right?
Yes. Because it's not far from St. Louis, so we drove, but also good to bring all that stuff with us, not on a plane.
Yes.
But I do wish we would have gotten sooner just so we can settle, not have to rush, maybe sightsee a little bit more, because we didn't see any of Chicago until after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I wanted to go do more, but honestly, it's long days. I don't know about you, but my hair and makeup times were 3, 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
I was asleep.
pretty tuckered out.
They're like, stop crying. And I'm like, I keep yawning because I'm asleep. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. Well, I love your hair. I love your hair both ways.
Yeah.
You can do blonde or brunette. It looks great.
Yeah. This is more my natural hair color, just trying to give my hair a little bit of a break. So thank you.
Well, I'm ready to learn about your career.
Yeah.
So what is your official job title?
So kind of just got a new job. So that's exciting. The last 5 years I was working in staffing, and I just got hired at MasterCard in HR. So still working with talent acquisition, but more so on the HR side, helping just make sure all the administrative things get done behind the scenes, which I love more.
Yeah.
So that's been going great. It's my 3rd week so far. That's why I was kind of push it back to the end of September. That way I know what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And so 3 weeks in,
Yeah.
right? Very cool.
Yeah. What's your job?
So I'm a visual merchandising coordinator.
Nice.
So what that means, is I travel. I have stores in Milwaukee area to Marquette, Michigan, and I travel the stores and I assess their graphics, their visual displays, and then we do trainings around them. So I'm on the road a lot. I'm around a lot of different people, and it's kind of nice. It's always something different.
Yeah.
But
I love traveling.
I'm in a hotel
If I can
right now, so
I'll go. If you pay for it, I will go.
yeah. So what about education for your current role? What all have you done to get here?
Yeah. So I graduated with my bachelor's degree. It was more so in advertising, PR. I also got my minor in psychology.
To Petite Professionals. This evening I have the pleasure of interviewing Gina Rose. She is a police officer, and this interview is very fitting because it was National Police Woman Day yesterday. And I see Gina, so let me get her. About Gina Rose.
Hey,
Hey, how are
I'm
you? First question. What is
go.
like your official title?
So I am actually in the process of being going to a different department, but officially, if I'm actively on, it would just be I am a police officer, patrol officer. Down south, I would be a deputy.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I like the word deputy. Kind of, So that's deputy, patrol officer, police officer. You see like people just say Leo in their title. Like if you see the word or abbreviation in like their bios and it says Leo, it usually stands for law enforcement officer, but most people don't know that. But
I
like
did
we
remember.
kind
I
of
was like, oh my gosh, are you
I know
Leo?
you're like you're like that's okay. I have birthday gifts that were sent to me and people were sending me birthday gifts for my birthday and I'm like, why? It's not my birthday. Freaking Facebook has it as my birthday. I'm like, oh my God, my birthday's October 25th. I'm like, it's not my birthday. My friend's like, I bought you rhinestone sandals. I'm like, it's not my birthday.
I'll take
She's like,
them.
oh, I was like, I feel so bad. And I think it was my fault because when I did the account, I made it so that nobody knew my birthday. But I thought it was public. Like, I thought I hid my birthday from everybody. It was just to set the account up.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't do so good. So I'm like, I really need to change this. So that's my official title. And
Awesome. Okay.
the food was great, Elliot.
So, what is okay? I have a couple of questions to go along with that. One is, what kind of education did you have to do to become a police officer? And then what was the journey to that role?
Oh. So this is like I don't know how to explain it. I get so I don't get mad about it, but I get so frustrated because it's different, I think, in the Northeast than it is, we'll say, down south. The requirements for the most part, some are different, some are not. I really wanted to go to Boston, but Boston PD wants you to have like all these different degrees. I will say it proudly and loudly. I absolutely do not like school. It did not come easy to me. I am a hands-on type of gal. I always will say I will go up against anybody common sense wise, but I will 100% will back down when it comes to pen to paper. I just don't have that in me. Like some people are just fantastic at it. I'm not one. I'm kind of like 10 seconds in, I'm like, oh, squirrel. I really got a lot of laundry. I got so much laundry to do. I should really go shopping. Like I just can't. And it's not like an ADHD thing. It's genuinely like I just don't like it.
You
I,
rather
I
be
don't know what else is it.
physically
And
doing.
I feel bad because I'm on my kids. I'm like, I mean, I want A's and B's, and they have A's and B's, and I couldn't do it. So in Connecticut, you can have a GED or high school education. Not a problem. You don't need anything. Um, with that being said, you get trumped. I don't know if that's the right word to use on this. Sorry. You get you get seen you you get seen over by other individuals that have college degrees. So if I'm going up, like I was hired at one department and they went through the whole process and they're like, we're not going to take you because this kid has a bachelor's degree. I'm like, well, that's stupid. That kid actually didn't make it through the academy and he failed out. And he didn't fill out the book work, but he filled out the physical end of it. So it's you can not have you can have the lowest education, which is like a GED or a high school diploma. I have a high school diploma, but I don't have the other credits because yeah, no. I just don't.
Real
But
quick, so question. So someone could graduate high school and then apply, and then they could go into the academy.
right, so
Is
that's
that
that's
okay?
what happened. Right. So for me, the process was I got in after an extensive background, and I'm telling you, um, they want your mother's maiden name, your mother's social security, your father's last name, how many times you've been married, how many times, if you know, your whole credit report, any cars that you have, every address you lived at. Some places want at my elementary schools and teachers. I'm like, I don't freaking know. I'm almost
What
40. I don't have a clue, you
What do
know?
you want with that?
They want everything. They do that background. They go to your house. They'll do a home visit, which is like the last of it. In the midst of that, they're calling and they're not even calling. They're going to your neighbor's house, asking like, do they have domestics? Do they have? I mean, it is like not no joke of a process. And I've been hired by several different departments. I've been through this process. I could count 5 times. Five times I can count. And I just ended up picking and choosing where I went. Yeah. So after you go through your initial, you get a packet like that big, you have to fill all of it out. You go to in Connecticut, you have your polygraph. So then you go to wherever they pick, they strap a polygraph on you, you sit down, you sit on like a chair, and it has a pad on it to feel like you sit on. They put one on your knees, like, or your feet. You sit on another pad. They strap you up here. They strap you under. They put a finger thingy on you for blood for your, and then they put you on this polygraph test. And prior to that, you fill out a packet like this big, and I mean, it goes through your criminal history. Have you ever stole? I mean, I took a hairbrush when I was a little kid, and I put that down because if you're thinking it might mess you up.
It's
So
good.
they
Yeah.
ask you about, I mean, your like sexual orient, like they ask you all kinds of crazy questions. Like if you
Wild.
could, if I'm not gonna say it on here, but if you could think it, they ask it. They ask you about drugs. They ask you about, I mean, anything. If you've done anything, if you've taken a prescription drug when you shouldn't have, you want to put it down. Like if you took more, I should take. It says only take 2 Advil. I'm going to take 6. I mean, I haven't taken 6, but I'm just saying. They ask you about alcohol. They ask you about gambling. They literally ask you, and then you sit there and you're grilled, and they'll stop and they'll be like, "Oh, this doesn't really sound right. You really want to think about it?" And they leave you in the room, and they kind of come back and they're like, "You want to talk about anything?" And it's definitely it is a lot to go through. And then after that, they send you to a psychiatrist, and you take like a 5-hour psychological exam. And their questions, do you love your mother? Do you love your father? How do you, if you can say that you love your father, would it be a lot, a little, kind of? Like they ask you all these different questions a million different ways. And then after the test, they run it through a program, and then they run it through like a machine to see where you find. I don't really know how they run it. And then you sit down with the therapist, and then they talk about it. And I had one agency, they went all the way back to my childhood. They're like, "You want to talk about your parents being broken up?" I'm like, "Not really." But like you want to, like, you don't want to get defensive, but it's like, oh my God. So like if you have scars, they're going to rip that Band-Aid right off, and you're going to deal with it. And then after that, you go to a medical, and then after a medical, I feel like I'm missing something here. I went to the academy. You get hired, and then you go to the academy, and the academies are different now. When I did the academy, I had to live there for 6 months, and that was hard because I had my 2 little kids at the time. They were 5 and 6, I believe, something like that.
Wow.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 5 and 6, and it was 6 months, and I think it was ended up being like 1,500 hours of training, something like that. We do evoc, which is like you have to drive a car really, really fast, brake, go through obstacles, go on wet pavement, spin out, like doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You get pepper sprayed, and then you have to fight